The use of child labor in Victorian England was a grim reality that shaped the era in many ways. From the early 19th century to the early 20th century, the Industrial Revolution drastically transformed the landscape of England, giving rise to factories, mines. With the increasing demand for cheap labor, children were forced into work at an alarming rate. This period marked a stark contrast between the wealthy and the impoverished, as the affluent benefited from the profits while the working class, including children, languished in harsh conditions. The labor of children was exploited across various industries during the Victorian era. They were employed in factories, mines, and workshops, working long hours for meager pay. Factory work was particularly grueling, as children as young as 5 or 6 were subjected to dangerous machinery and hazardous working conditions. These young workers faced the constant risk of accidents, injuries, and even death. The exploitation of children was not limited to factories alone. Mines were also notorious for employing children, who were agile enough to navigate through narrow tunnels and extract coal. These young miners faced constant danger, from the risk of cave-ins to the inhalation of toxic gases. Many suffered from respiratory diseases and physical deformities as a result of their grueling work. The conditions in mines were often deplorable, with poor ventilation and unsanitary surroundings. The textile industry also heavily relied on child labor during this era. Factories and workshops employed children, especially girls, as they were seen as more docile and nimble-fingered, for tasks like spinning and weaving. These young workers faced exhaustion from the monotonous and repetitive nature of their work, often enduring long hours in cramped spaces. The lack of proper ventilation and exposure to cotton dust led to severe respiratory ailments, commonly known as mill fever. The plight of child chimney sweeps was another distressing aspect of child labor in Victorian England. These young boys were employed to clean chimneys, a hazardous job that exposed them to toxic soot, suffocating dust, and the risk of getting stuck or falling from heights. Many chimney sweeps suffered from respiratory diseases and physical injuries, their lives marked by cruelty and exploitation. Despite the harrowing conditions endured by child laborers, it was not until the late 19th century that reform movements began to emerge. Organizations such as the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children played a significant role in advocating for legislative changes to protect children from exploitation. The Factory Act of 1833, for example, limited the working hours of children and set minimum age requirements for employment. While such reforms were a step in the right direction, it would take several more decades for child labor to be fully abolished. The legacy of child labor in Victorian England is haunting. It serves as a reminder of the atrocities committed against the most vulnerable members of society in the pursuit of economic prosperity. The scars it left behind on the physical and mental well-being of these children are immeasurable. The stories of their suffering should be acknowledged and remembered, not only as a testament to their resilience, but also as a call to ensure the protection and rights of children in our modern world.